If you're one of those people who thinks there should be more sex scenes in movies, boy do I have the movie for you. Hello again, it's great to see you. Sorry if I sound a little strange, definitely congested. This winter weather is kicking me in the butt a bit, but happy winter! I was given an early screening of erotic horror film Swap through Epic Pictures, and this erotic vampire horror film was pretty confusing, to be honest, but toes the line of being a horror comedy. The movie opens with Brad and Kayla, a couple navigating their relationship boundaries. We get a lot of discussions up front about open relationships and the idea of introducing a third person to spice up their intimacy. This conversation sets the tone for a really sexually charged narrative, though their dialogue doesn't feel as intimate as the conversation they're having. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot of respect for each other's feelings there. Kayla has a totally different concept of monogamy and sexual boundaries than Brad does, which means that their conversations kind of devolve into arguments. Brad is a cop, and we're reminded of this often with comments from other characters like, "Stop being such a cop about everything, Brad!" I don't think we ever find out what Kayla does. It's just not important. The couple travels to go see Kayla's college friend Glory and her new fiancé Angelo at their remote mansion. But they encounter some odd behavior upon arrival, like stumbling upon Glory and Angelo just going at it. Also, Glory and Angelo's doorbell plays Scotland the Brave really loudly, and this is just never explained. As the weekend progresses, Glory and Angelo attempt to pull Brad and Kayla into their hedonistic lifestyle, their word. And couple swapping comes up, and Brad is characteristically against the idea. Kayla admits to Glory that Brad isn't into couple swapping or some of her other kinks, but that she feels really balanced by him, and she isn't worried that he's going to cheat on her, so she really likes him. The story introduces themes of trust, personal boundaries, and temptation, but it doesn't really explore them. Much of the movie is dominated by explicit scenes and some truly sensational dialogue. The film leans heavily into the sensational, in fact, and features some extended scenes of general debauchery.
Debauchery! Debauchery!
The climax reveals that Glory and Angelo are vampire hedonists looking to convert Brad and Kayla.
Vampires? Why is it just because someone bites a neck that we're vampires? It's such a stereotype.
I guess flyers and door knocking wasn't working out for them, so the logical next step was couple swapping. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Kayla is into it and goes along with Glory biting her to turn her, but Brad is resistant. The movie culminates in a chaotic and violent confrontation that doesn't seem to resolve anything and kind of leaves the audience feeling like it was a very abrupt ending. Without giving too much away, I think that the film's main characters are fundamentally incompatible. I also think the movie could have done really well as a horror comedy, but didn't lean enough into that comedy aspect for me. I'd love to speak to the actresses in this movie about how they chose the role and how actresses can ascertain that roles requiring nudity and lots of intimate scenes will be a benefit and not a hindrance to their careers. For example, a show like Euphoria had a lot of sexual scenes and nudity, and actresses like Sydney Sweeney have gotten consistent roles afterward, but typically those roles also require nudity. So I wonder if it's an issue with being typecast. The bottom line, though, is that high-profile actresses who choose to do nude scenes in movies will maintain their career statuses and even bolster them, but less experienced actresses who do the same are treated very differently and don't always achieve the same outcomes. I looked up the movie's IMDb page, and I could have sworn that the cop character's name was Brad, but he's credited as Rad with an R. Rad is played by James Eastwood. Kayla is Jessica Layla Green. Glory is played by Erin Ann Gray, and Angelo is played by Dallas King. Out of curiosity, I kind of explored the IMDb page a bit to see if I could confirm the presence of an intimacy coordinator on set, but there was no stunt crew or anyone credited with intimacy coordination, so because it's not necessarily listed on there, they still could have used one or had one on set. I just wasn't able to confirm this. Dallas King was also, besides being one of the main characters, the director and the screenwriter. So he was really believable in his role, and it kind of surprised me finding out how many hats he wore in the creation of this movie. Like, that's a lot to do. Overall, if you're looking for an erotic, vampire-related thriller that isn't Twilight, then Swap might be for you. I do not, however, recommend watching this movie loud enough for others to hear it. Thanks for listening, and I will see you all again soon. Bye! Happy holidays!